It'll be fine about the flight, I'm telling you, baby. Things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy. But when you place your hand between my collar and jaw, I don't know much, but there's no way at all. And I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. 'Cause if I say I miss you, I know that you won't. But I miss you in the morning.
What's up, everybody? We are live from the Guys of Texas headquarters, we're going to call it.
Okay.
We're here down in my office getting ready for the biggest game of the week for sure. Biggest game for both of these teams coming up as well. I'm going to tell a lot. Going to go over real quick last week. So we got to experience live a little bit of last week. What did you boys have from game against Colorado State? You guys saw that you liked, what you didn't like?
I think one of the things that we talked about going into it was the secondary for Texas. What was the secondary going to look like against a pretty good Colorado State passing game? And I mean, we completely shut them down. 59 yards for their starting quarterback. Super impressed with the secondary. That was one of the key things that I was looking forward to seeing in that first game. So that was one of the main takeaways I saw in that first game for sure.
My takeaway is DKRs was still really hot. I got scorched.
Yeah, we were like, oh no, it's only going to be like 90 degrees, and it was like 130 on the field. And I was like, oh god,
Dude, my neck I'm still peeling right now.
Yeah, it was. You were real dark. Buddy Jonathan that came out got real red.
But my actual game takeaway, I was probably most impressed by how much we spread the ball around. I don't know if it's Sark's offense or it's been Quinn's comfortability, but we kind of were pigeonholed the last two seasons on just like typically two wide receivers, and seeing it spread around and everybody getting love was super encouraging, especially with how many new people we have. So that was my highlight of everything.
I thought, even the start of the game, like it was even the first two drives. I'm looking at their receiver packages that we're bringing in, and I'm like, okay. Those are different guys. Those are different guys. Those are different guys. I mean, you look at the just rushing alone. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys to run the ball during that game. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys to make at least one catch. Multiple of those with double digits. I mean, Blue at 37 yards receiving, Helm 42 yards receiving, Golden 50 yards receiving, Cook 56 yards receiving, Bond 61, and Wingo with 70. I mean, they spread the ball out a lot. One of the things that impressed me a lot was Blue, and we had talked about this during the game, but he looked very patient this year versus last year. He sat back and waited for the hole to open up. I thought that was very good gameplay from him. It was nice to see that. Weisner looked good. I mean, across the board, it was a good warm-up game. Now, Colorado State is not a difficult opponent, we will say, but it was a good warm-up game. Now, they're no slouch, and the fact that we held them to 0 points is kind of crazy. They do have talent on that team, especially, we talked about it. Their offensive line had I think most of them averaged about 40 games, average of games played. And then on top of that, you had Horton, who's a stud. They got that, I can't remember the name. There was one more wide receiver that was he's going to be really talented. So it wasn't a slouch team, but it looked very good. Sark spread the ball out, and then here comes our Lord and Savior, Arch Manning. Archie comes in the game, sets the decibel meter off at 130. It was the loudest I had heard that stadium.
Seriously, I didn't think it was that loud. When I saw it afterwards, I was surprised.
Yeah, no, it was loud. Like when I heard it, I was like,
looking back at the highlights, it was loud.
Yeah. I saw pictures. It was 130 on the decibel meter, and it was the loudest.
I thought it'd go viral, but I just feel like in that moment, I don't remember it being crazy loud.
I do. I remember being annoyed. Like, I mean. Also, the student section, if any of you are watching, stop the SEC chant.
Please.
Please. I mean, it's unbelievable that we starting chanting SEC. We had bets, I think it was going to be like whether it be the second quarter. It was 20 minutes before the game. They were chanting
before
SEC.
the national anthem.
Yeah, it was like, oh, my goodness. So, we need to stop the SEC chant. But overall, the game was really good. Texas handled business there.
It was kind of fun to see the fans stick around because they wanted to see Arch.
Yes.
So we had that stadium full until, it was early in the fourth quarter when you finally started to see people leave the game. So that's a nice perk of Arch, is because people want to see him play. So people stuck around, and that stadium was still rocking, late in the third quarter, which is fun to see.
Yeah, most people stuck around.
Yeah. I went, it was hot. All right. I had to get home. Okay. I said I have to see Arch play at least one drive, and I did. I saw, I conquered, and I left. Arch does look really good. I'm so excited for next year, possibly this year. I mean, we know Quinn's track record again. He's prone to injury at some point. So, I'll knock on wood. Yes, I don't want that to happen, but it's nice to have the backups that we have.
Good.
And if Arch were to get hurt, you got Owens behind him. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of player depth.
The quarterback drought is over.
Yes. Well, for now. Yeah. I mean, until the transfer portal is a cruel world now. So you never know year to year.
Dude, I keep waiting for that ball to drop. I feel like Texas has been super lucky with the transfer portal since it started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like seeing some of these teams and just like revel in it, like how exciting it is to watch some people leave. Like just like losing Isaiah Bond. We haven't had anybody like walk out that we're like kicking ourselves.
Exactly.
For sure.
I keep waiting for it to happen. Like knock on wood again. It's going to suck.
Well, there is that. I mean, if I keep watching Sark press conferences, and I don't know why I watch them anymore, because it's always the same thing. He talks about culture and how he builds these guys up, and he talks about making sure that they're disciplined and they create a different environment, and they in the off season that they're really creating leaders in that locker room, and not just players coming in earning money. Like, we talked about that last week, how hard is it to go, oh, hey, here's all these Lambos. Yeah, you got to earn this though.
Right.
And to be honest, Texas really hasn't spent a lot of money through the NIL and all of that. They still have a lot of that in the back pocket. And this is a lot of Sark building this team. And that's what I'm excited for, is the fact that he's able to build the team the right way and not have to throw a bunch of money at it. But at the end of the day, we've still got money in the back pocket to actually spend. So,
it's nice to see that this team this year is one of his teams where it's mainly his guys, it's mainly his guys at this point, before we had some of the guys from previous years. So it's just kind of nice to see Sark getting the full team on board.
Y'all keep going.
I agree.
A little technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
No, but that was
sidetracked mentally too.
That's the fun thing about this team, is it's finally a full Sark team. We don't have guys lingering in from other coaches. stuff. So that culture's there that Sark's really created. And
I mean, yeah, there's 4 guys still left on the roster.
I think it's 4 is what he said. So I mean, this is truly is his team now, which is a lot of fun to see because you do see a culture shift. And even at DKR last week, man, there was just a buzz. There was something different about. There was something different about the air there last week.
The intensity in the stadium has changed a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Del Conte or if you want to put it on the success of the team or just like a collaboration of both, but the atmosphere, everybody used to always talk about Texas being such a T crowd.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that way anymore. And I just think it's getting better and I'm super stoked for it.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that can keep up, which, I mean, I think we're already seeing that. I don't know if you've been on SeatGeek recently, but even UTSA, the cheapest ticket is now over $100.
Yeah.
So that
I keep laughing because literally when we played USC, how many seasons ago was that? 4 or 5 seasons ago? USC?
Yeah,
I remember paying
5.
$75 for that ticket. Man, I don't like paying this much for tickets.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I would kill for $75 tickets.
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking Elliot down to a few of those games, and one of them was against Kansas State. And we just went down there and scalped a ticket for $20 and ended up being like section 14 down, 25 rows from the field.
Yeah.
And we were able to scalp a ticket. So, I mean, you're seeing that shift in the culture for sure. Unfortunately, that does affect ticket prices. So you kind of got to pick and choose which games you're going to now, unfortunately. But, that's just a part of it. The buzz is there. People are excited. The crowd was rocking last Saturday. I mean, the crowd was consistently in the game pretty much until the end. Me and Seth left right at the very end, and that's when that pick happened in the back of the end zone. And we were probably a quarter mile away from the stadium at that point, and we still heard the roar, from the stadium, kind of wondering, oh shoot, what happened? What did we miss? So it's fun to see for sure.
I have no idea what happened just now. Sorry, everyone. The camera just decided to just absolutely shut off. But we're back to live action. Yeah, we were talking about the crowd. We're not the loudest crowd in the stadium yet, to be honest, in my opinion. Like it's annoying. Like like obviously the game it was. Yes, it's Colorado State. Everyone's there to just kind of see the team and everything, but we're gonna have to hit a whole nother level, and we will.
Yeah,
I mean, just like when we had Alabama here, that game was insane.
Yeah, that was
and
crazy.
I don't like the ups and downs. I wish, I'll give A&M props. They, no matter what, they are lively and loud.
Yeah,
I wish we had that, and hopefully we get there. I think it's getting better year by year.
Did you see Herb Street in the car talking about I don't understand how A&M has such a great atmosphere.
Isn't that from a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that clip though.
It popped up again, and I was like, oh my.
Hardest place to win, even for that.
They have like a 50% win rate there over the last few years, but that was pretty cool seeing Notre Dame come out of that tunnel. That crowd was just going crazy, and that Notre Dame.
Did you see Nebraska's tunnel?
No.
Okay, so it was a video I watched this morning. They have this hype room, and it's got this video board that's playing this hype music and everything.
I'm hoping you're going to say they run out of a corn husk.
Well, Coach gets up and he does a speech, and then they put on this hype music and then run out of the tunnel. I watched the whole thing. I was like, oh yeah, they literally designed portions of this stadium for the hype to get into the field, and
that's pretty cool.
It was.
I didn't know Nebraska did a revamp.
Yeah, it looks like it because everything that I saw was. Yeah, I was hyped.
Dude, I've been
Matt Rule hyping you up is going to be
Raiola could do it, man.
Yeah,
they've been irrelevant for quite a while. Not to throw shade, but they haven't been able to capitalize. I didn't know if they ever would be able to, but I'm a believer. Raiola seems like he's going to do something.
I don't know, Jim.
What other games are you guys looking or from last week? The Notre Dame game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that was a fun game.
Florida State falling apart.
Dude, Florida State's dead.
Go ahead and forfeit the rest of the season. I don't know what.
It's crazy, dude.
They collapsed, and the first game it was okay, you're traveling overseas. Now it's
well, how good is Georgia Tech now?
I know
they probably aren't anything.
I believe they're ranked.
They're ranked now. Yeah,
yeah, they're ranked 24, 23.
Why?
I don't know. Why? It's I think we put Florida State on this pedestal, and we all knew that last year a little bit. and then now we're really seeing the effects of that.
I mean, I think they really were legitimate last year. They were
I did too.
until their quarterback got hurt.
Travis went down.
They were
that's
great.
what screwed them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they lost so much and just expected to come back in at the same level.
Did you see the Florida State fan that tweeted out and said that he would eat dog crap from a red Solo cup?
I've seen it everywhere.
And then he just deleted everything, and everybody's been trying to find him since then.
Well, then a Barstool employee decided to go on and actually do it. So there's a Barstool employee that actually went to his backyard and picked up his dog's. Yeah,
it's
Wait, I
hilarious.
haven't seen this.
Yeah, it's what's his name? Is the weird? Oh God, I can't think of his name. He did their American Idol type thing. He had just won it. I can't remember his name. He's very bland.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. I know who
can
you're talking
see
about now.
his dumb face, but I can't think of his name right now. And that's how it even was on. Like they were talking about it on the Unnamed show with Dave Portnoy and them, and they were like, "Yeah, it's not even viral." Like, and I think now it has like 2 million views. He goes, "If you're gonna eat dog crap, at least make sure it goes viral." And like for the first week, it just didn't at all. John is
You
his
didn't
first
even
name.
have the camera on, you idiot.
John Rich. That's his name.
Oh,
John
that's
Rich.
funny. I gotta look that up.
Dude, I was watching another podcast the other day, and they were saying like he had ghosted everybody, just gone, and like he should just come back and do a pay-per-view sponsored by like Dude Wipes and just cash out big time on
He
them.
just makes some money off of it at this point. The other game last week that was fun on the Sunday was that USC LSU game.
Yeah.
That was surprising. I really didn't anticipate USC coming out and
Moss.
doing that. Yeah, I mean, I was about to say they looked good. Moss actually looked really good. He looked good in their bowl game last year, and he carried that over and looked really good against what I thought was going to be a good LSU team and defense. And Lincoln Riley got it done.
Old Lincoln
Lincoln.
finally pulled all those Oklahoma players around, and
We'll see.
Yeah. Him finally having a defense is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be scary if he actually has a consistent defense. How does he consistently do, like, you plug in another quarterback and they're phenomenal. Plug in another quarterback, they're phenomenal.
I don't know that, but we're actually figuring that out now also on our own. So,
Yeah.
for
For sure.
Sark has seemed to find that the diamond in the rough, not really diamond in the rough, but Quinn, when he came in, he was very shaky. Like Quinn is a completely different quarterback, and I believe Sark is a big key to that, because his first year was like, he can't. He's overthrowing, he's underthrowing, he has no accuracy, and now he's starting to really get. Now he's doing no look passes.
Yeah,
that was super understated in the game too.
Yes,
like, I don't even think people caught it until a couple hours after the game.
In the stands, we had no idea.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
At all.
So
sure.
And then Anthony Hill's comments after the game, he's been doing that to him all preseason.
All right. So
what about Clemson? Is Clemson officially dead?
no.
I mean, it was Georgia,
I
but
think
still 3.
Again, I think this is Dabo not adapting to the portal.
Yeah.
Dude,
Not
it's
adapting
crazy.
to the NIL stuff. Like he's gonna have to learn, and this is really sending him to retirement, or he's got to adapt. Like he can't keep going the way he is. He's ruined wide receivers.
Yep.
Like every wide receiver he's got is ruined, and it's now to a point where he's got to find something in the portal next year. This year is pretty much shot. They'll be okay. Like they're not going to be terrible. Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep them in a lot of ball games. But as far as offense wise, no, they're.
I was sad to see Cade Klubnik go to Clemson to begin with because he's a local guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, he's going to be great. And then I'm just disappointed to see what's happening with
I don't know
he was not developing.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Which is interesting because there hasn't really been a quarterback that's been developed there at Clemson since Trevor. They've really sputtered since Trevor's left.
I mean, it was Trevor, DJ, and now.
Yeah, they just really have it. And you look at that, I think they're, other than the military schools, they're the only school in the FBS that didn't have a transfer, which is just insane to me. I mean, you got to adapt with the times if you're Dabo. And if you're not willing to adapt with the times, then you're going to be like Saban and just kind of, hit retirement. So, that was an interesting game for sure.
Is that shaded Saban?
A little bit, yeah. I do it a little bit.
We got game day on back here. We got Fox Noon kickoff. There's a lot of guys about to come up and do picks. You got Jeter's going to be a captain, an honorary captain in the game. This is just a Ranger hate thing for me. You got Michael Phelps. You
That's
got
a lot of star power for sure. on
Matthew
this panel.
McConaughey.
What is Will Ferrell
I don't know.
doing involved in this?
I don't know.
I had to look it up. Like, did he go there for undergrad or something?
Yeah, he's a USC.
Yeah.
guy, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
for
So
sure.
I don't. It's kind of one of those.
Is he going
got-
to come out in character?
Yeah. Well, here's the deal: this is what game day number 1. How many game days does Texas have by the end of the season?
Oh, number 1 for us?
Or how many game day comes to our game? You've got this one.
I think
You've
you
got
could legitimately have 4.
Oklahoma. You may go.
Wait,
you
do
can't go
playoff
back
games
to back,
count?
can you?
Can't go back to back.
Because it'd be Oklahoma, Georgia.
They won't do Texas OU.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They'll do Texas Georgia.
Yeah.
But there's that slate for Texas OU weekend. It's ridiculous.
The SEC network, how many times do they show up to our
Yeah.
stuff? Like that's going to be. You got Mississippi State. They'll probably show up to that. They'll show up to Georgia. They won't show up to Florida. A&M for sure. They'll be there.
Yeah.
So I
You
mean,
think Texas, Mississippi State?
for the first
SEC.
SEC game, yeah.
Okay.
Like
Maybe.
SEC
It
network.
depends. I'd have to look at the schedule
Yeah,
to
that's
see
what I'm
what,
curious about.
what the rest of it is. But yeah. All right, let's get to the game at hand. Number 10 Michigan versus number 3 moved up in the rankings Texas.
Yeah.
This is the first ever regular season game that these two have met, which is mind-boggling,
Shocking, right?
For
Yeah, it is
how long
crazy.
they've both been in. They have played once. That is a win for us. A win for
That was
against Michigan in the Rose Bowl. So yeah, Texas is 1-0 against Michigan all time. Still crazy to say. They've both been around for so long. But you've got Michigan coming in with a very solid defense. You've got a dual quarterback situation that they have. Offense wise, they don't really, yes, they were hiding some stuff. They were wanting to play vanilla last week, but at the same time, you need to be ready. And they just didn't have any practice to me. And they let Fresno throw the ball around on them also a little bit. So what are your keys for today's game against Michigan?
For our side of the ball?
Well, for whatever, as far as
Our keys for victory?
Yeah. What are our keys?
I mean, a good start, Quinn looking comfortable. And then I want, like, my biggest question mark of our team is our secondary, but I don't know if that's going to be as key today. It's really going to test our defensive line. And that's been the question mark for a lot of people in the offseason. Can we really fill the roles that Devondre Sweat and Byron Murphy had last year? And I'm a believer that we can, but today's going to get tested because they really love to run the rock, and especially right up the middle. So if we can stay strong there, I think that's the biggest key to the game today.
Yeah, I think defensively, you got to load the box, force them to throw the ball, because their bread and butter is going to be their running game. They showed that all last year. There was a few games that they didn't even have to throw a pass in the second half of games just because they were able to establish a consistent run game. But I think if you look at Michigan's offensive line, they lost 6 guys to the NFL. So this is a completely different offensive line, and they looked shaky in game 1. They weren't able to run the ball consistently. They didn't protect the quarterback very well. So I get your play vanilla, but at some point, you're 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's a 1-touchdown game or 1-score game. It's just one of those. Michigan looks shaky throughout that whole entire game, and they're still trying to find their identity. And I feel like if we can come in and just deliver a punch early, shake the confidence, shake the crowd, that's going to be key. We got to get this crowd out early. If you let them linger around, obviously we know the Big House, the iconic stadium, is going to be one of the toughest stadiums we play in this year. We can't let the crowd linger around in this game. We got to come out and step on their throat early.
And I think, you said load the box. I think early, I think you give that appearance of loading the box and you just drop back still, because they're going to be expecting that, and we're going to want to get out early. I think they think that they've got to feel that they've got to get out early on us. Otherwise, they are screwed, because we are a fast football team, and we have a lot of fast players on this team right now. We have so many different weapons. That's what I think the game plan should be, is give it the appearance that you're loading the box for the first couple drives, and then make them run the ball.
Yeah.
And then you're playing that mind game. And then on the flip side of the ball, as far as Sark with their defense, making sure that they're I saw a thing where Sark was saying that they run a fake RPO. Like it's a run pass option that he's giving, but it just gives the appearance. But actually, it's a pass the whole time. There was never an option to run the ball. There is, or it is just straight up a run play. Okay. He was talking to the Texas coaches, and he's come up with this formula of what actually looks like an RPO that isn't at all. And I think that's what's about to happen. I think we're going to try to establish a run game a little bit at the beginning, but I think the first drive will be 75% passing. I think the very first play will be a pass. I think
to set up the run.
Yes, to set up the run. I don't know how this Michigan defense stops how fast we are right now. They're a good defense.
Yeah.
But the key is going to be up front on the offensive line, which we have plenty of depth on also. So if we want to start, I think the first half, I think we only scored maybe 2 touchdowns. But I think what's going to happen is we may play a little hurry up because we have enough depth at offensive line, wear them out in the first half, and then it will be a blowout in the second half. If we can stick to that, even get 2 touchdowns, we win by 3 touchdowns at the end of the game if we do that. I think wearing that defense out is going to be a big key to the game.
I'm really curious how much we held back on our defensive line last week. If it was strategic, because they didn't do anything fancy. There wasn't many stunts. You didn't see a lot of pressure from the outside, and I'm assuming it was by design. And with their inexperienced offensive line, I'm really curious to see how much of a rush we can bring also. That'll be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you see how Sark said that they've been practicing for plays against Michigan the entire summer, and they just found out about the players just found out that's what they were doing this week?
No, I didn't see that.
He was like, cool. In the press conference, he was like, we've been practicing all summer, but they just found out. They just started realizing, this is what we're using now. That's why we've been practicing this. So there's been a lot of practice. Knowing Michigan, they probably got film footage of all of that. Speaking of, let's talk about the fact that their coach has no contract.
That's interesting, man.
Did you see McAfee ask him yesterday?
Yeah.
What a
I'm
weird
committed to
answer,
the university. The university's committed to me. Not very much.
University's not going to be committed to you when you take the fall for all of the stuff that happened last year along with Connor Stallions. Like, that's why they haven't signed a contract, in my opinion.
Waiting to see how it plays out.
But that's crazy to me that you're sitting there being a head coach and you're just like, I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I could get fired anytime now because I don't actually have a contract. They just asked me to leave, but that's a weird dynamic, and it's starting to fill in that locker room too. When Pat asked the question, it was immediate weirdness for their defensive coordinator and the head coach when they were standing there. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, that Netflix documentary that came out doesn't help things, because now people kind of know the ins and outs of what was going on there. So
Portnoy sold out for him, sold his boy out.
Yeah. So there's still a lot that I feel like the NCAA is kind of digging up there, where you're starting to see more and more come to light. So that's bizarre, man.
Let's see. So let's talk about. So we talked about keys of the game. What other games are you guys looking forward to?
I mean, I'm excited about Nebraska, Colorado. I'm not a Colorado fan, and I want to watch them just get.
They're going to get pummeled.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm a Travis Hunter fan. The rest of them.
Yeah, and I think Shedeur would be really good at a different college. Like if Shedeur was playing at Oklahoma or somewhere else with away from his dad,
but I can't stand him.
I know. That's the thing. Is like man, I get playing for your dad, and I see all that, but I do think under like a coach like Sark, although I don't even know if he'd play under a coach like Sark, like because I think he just has that attitude.
Yeah, the mentality.
It's just a certain dynamic that he has that it's tough to coach that for a lot of coaches, and a lot of coaches won't put up with that. I mean, Prime, he's a flashy guy. He doesn't care.
I was excited about Sanders when he went to Colorado.
Yeah,
and like the way he was presenting himself and everything, like the documentaries are going around about him. I was excited, but since he's actually been coaching and the stuff that's been happening, I've completely lost it. I'm not there. Have y'all? I mean, on the Colorado note, I had it as a note on here. Did y'all see their assistant coaches actually fighting in the parking lot?
No, I read about that.
I don't know all the details, but it's on videotape. There was 2 coaches. They were in the parking lot. One was like loading stuff into their trunk, and they came out and like confronted each other and actually started swinging and fighting on each other. And then I think one of them resigned.
Who
afterwards.
won? Who won?
I don't know. I don't remember. I saw the video yesterday. The headline was just like, "Is this the culture at Colorado?"
Stirring the pot
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
What game are you looking forward to, John?
I'll pick the other ranked matchup this week, Tennessee, NC State.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun game. I think we'll really get to see how good Tennessee really is. They looked really good week 1, but they played a high school, so you didn't really get a full test of them. But I think that's a fun game to look at going to NC State. Kind of see is Tennessee for real. So yeah, that's the game I pick. I think that's the only other ranked matchup this week, which is crazy.
Ranked, like both ranked.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like usually week 2 is where people kind of hit the ground running, but we saw a lot of week 1 ranked matchups this year that I feel like we're used to. So week 2 is kind of quiet other than this Texas game.
There's one more good game, and that's going to be the OK State Arkansas game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really good game. Arkansas is plus
Arkansas
10. I'm just telling you, that's going to be a good game. They're Arkansas's plus 10. I think Arkansas's got a good chance of winning that game. Actually, I have Arkansas plus 10 as my first pick for the picks for the week. I also have
Iowa State. Iowa's going to be fun too.
Yeah, I have
That's a fun one,
and
too.
then Utah Baylor. That'll not fun, but it'll be interesting to see the Big 12 play each other already. Like it's crazy that they're already in conference play.
Are we going to talk about your Big 12 champion going down last night in their first Big 12 game?
We're not going to talk about that. Look at BYU's a tough school.
Oh yeah, I mean that was a defensive battle last night.
Yeah.
Okay, why did you have to do that? Now you've thrown all my game off. Now I'm all like,
I didn't realize that was a pick.
you know what's funny is OK State's my Big 12 champion, and I'm just picking Arkansas to basically win that game. The other ones that I have is Nebraska minus 6.5. I think they smoke Colorado, and I have Houston plus 28 in their game. Who are they? Why did I not put
Who they're playing?
Yeah, I know who they're playing. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Look at that. Oklahoma. That's what it was. Yeah, so they're plus 28. I have them covering Oklahoma. I mean, yeah, they moved the ball a little bit, and they had a lot of touchdowns, but they didn't really have a whole lot of yardage to come by on that. So plus 28 to me is a little bit of a wild score there, but yeah, those are my picks.
I'll go next. I got Syracuse straight up. I don't think Georgia, after seeing what Florida State is, I don't think Georgia Tech's as good as we had previously thought. Syracuse is at home, and I think it's a pretty good bet. Next, App State plus 16.5.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I don't trust Clemson.
Yep.
So I will easily take that one. And then the last one, I love this pick. I don't know how it's going to work out for me, but South Florida plus 31 against Alabama. We don't know what Alabama is completely yet.
True.
31 points is insane.
That's a lot of points.
USF is a good team. So I'm pretty comfortable with all three of those.
Jono?
Yeah, I'll go since my Wyoming pick was the worst pick of all time last week.
I mean, it wasn't close.
I'll roll again and pick Mississippi State over Arizona State.
Okay.
Arizona State's the favorite in that game. I got Colorado over Nebraska.
Are you taking Mississippi State to win it?
I'm taking Mississippi State to win it. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I got Colorado over Nebraska to win.
Oof.
I don't think Nebraska's back. I think they're posers. I think they'll show tonight that they're the same old Nebraska. Not a believer in them. So
wow.
I think Colorado comes in and wins that game. And then my last one, I got Boise State to cover against Oregon.
I like that pick.
Boise State's offense looked great last week. Their defense looked horrible, but their offense looked great. The running back had over 200 yards rushing. So I feel like they could give Oregon problems. Oregon looked a little shaky at times last week.
Like Oregon.
So I got Boise State to cover in that. I don't think Boise State will win, but I think it'll be closer than people anticipate.
I agree.
First touchdown score of the game today. Who you got? I will go first.
Yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
I am going to go. I actually think it's going to be
Stick with Gunnar Helm from
Nope.
last week.
I'm
That's me.
taking a.
Oh, what did you get?
I'm going Wingo.
Wingo.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Wingo.
I'm gonna go Jaden Blue. Easy pick.
I'll go
for the
Bond.
odds.
I'll go Bond on a little route that he had last week. That was right in front of us. That was fun, man.
Yeah.
that little
Corner.
fade in the back of the end zone.
Fixing his helmet
Fixing
in the
his
middle of it.
helmet, mouth
Yeah.
guard got pulled out. That was a fun route. But yeah, I'll take Bond.
I've got Quinn to not throw any interceptions today. I've got 19 and a half receiving yards for Gunnar Helm today, the over. I've got an interception for Warren given up. Auburn, I have over 6.5 kicking points.
You're just going through your sleeper.
Yep, that's exactly what's going on. And then
This is what you
Isaiah
actually
Bond
have going-
over.
oh,
This
you-
is actually what I have. 54 and a half. $25 went to me $400.
Easy money.
That's cake. I did not do well last week. I do feel a lot more confident about this one. With that being said, what's the scores you guys got for the game today?
Mine is I have Texas 35-17, straight touchdowns, no field goals. I wouldn't be surprised if Michigan doesn't score 17, but that's my prediction.
I got Texas 31-21. A little lighter than y'all's for sure, but I think this will be a close game going into the second half, and I think Texas kind of gets going offensively in that second half. I think Michigan's defense will come out strong, but I got Texas pulling away 31-21.
I have been torn all week, going back and forth, be like, okay, don't get hype. So I just try and look at everything as a whole, and I can't get away from it. I mean, Michigan does not have an offense right now. I don't care that even if they're hiding stuff right now, our defense is good enough. Our offense is definitely fast enough to wear them out. I think it's going to be 38-10. I think we hold them throughout the game. I think they get flustered, try and do something stupid. We will get a couple turnovers of the football because of that. I see maybe 2 scores from Texas at the first half and then run away with it in the second half, just like we talked about earlier. There's not a point in my mind where I see Texas losing this game. Like, I tried to be very objective on that and try and figure out and play devil's advocate. Can't do it. Like, Michigan they're just not the same football team. Like, and it's no disrespect to the reigning champions. They're just not the same football team. Now we're about to see in this environment, you got Michael Phelps on TV with his man bun on next to Corso. They're picking Auburn over Cal. But yeah, we're coming down to game time. You guys have anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
No, I mean, I think we pretty much covered what I was hoping to talk about. I'm excited for this game, man. There's a fun buzz about this game. Getting these out of conference matchups early are fun. I hope we stick with it going forward. I know the SEC slate is tough, but I hope we keep scheduling these fun matchups in the non-conference like this, because it just makes it that much more entertaining early in the season.
I agree. Playing some random directional school that nobody's ever heard of is just such a letdown. And I mean, as long as we're performing like the way we are, having something like this on our resume is great. And I love it. So,
One thing we didn't talk about real quick.
what's that?
Worthy looking like a stud
Oh yeah,
in his first
Yeah,
NFL
yeah.
game. I mean,
Dude, that first touch.
Freaking
I
blur.
loved all the Bills memes that have been coming out.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious.
did you see the reporter? I can't remember his name. He's with Tony Dungy in the pregame show.
Oh yeah,
Basically saying Worthy's just a skinny guy.
yeah.
I mean, he's fast, but he's not going to do anything. Sure enough, runs in for the
Literally right
first
away.
TD, his first ever touch, and then another one in the
Flying through
second
that.
half. And Dungy gave him trash at the halftime show.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, this guy said the Worthy was just skinny and fast, and he wasn't going to be any good." Yeah, showed that. I mean, Worthy's going to be a problem, and the Bills are dumb.
yeah.
Like, that's just what. Can you imagine Josh Allen and Worthy together? Like, that'd be crazy too.
Yeah.
With that, we are getting ready for the game. May come at halftime. Real quick, just do a little recap of the first half. Don't know yet, maybe. But yeah, I'm ready for some hamburgers, hot dogs, and, to get this game. So that being said, thank you guys. Make sure to like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on. Hook 'em horns, baby.
Welcome.